Don't ignore them. You don't want to miss this. This brief clip here, this gentleman's talking about what the 2030 agenda is. Let's check it out.
So just as I come to a close, unfortunately, I think this is just the beginning. So I've learned when people tell you what they're going to do, don't ignore them. So when the UN and Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab tell you that they've got a UN 2030 plan with sustainable development goals, I think there are 17 or 21 of them, and every one of them says you won't be traveling, you won't have a private car, we won't be using international shipping to move goods around, there won't be any flights except military or perhaps very rich people. You won't own anything and you'll be happy. You probably won't live in your own house. You'll be using much less energy for everything, including heating, manufactured goods, and so on. When they tell you that, you should assume that they're serious about it.
And with that, what's happening, Crypto Crew? That brief clip there, when you hear these things, you should assume that they're serious about it. But you do have an option. You have something to opt into to give yourself true freedom, to be your own bank, to have your own piece of sovereignty. As Bitcoin appreciates, are you going to be the one to reap those benefits? Before we get started, make sure you go ahead and check the Bitcoin Bros out on Patreon. We just started this for you guys. Patreon.com/Bitcoin Bros. You can find it in the description below. And getting straight into it, you see that we're looking at the DXY, and the DXY has respected this support once, twice, 3 times. But look, there's a pattern. Every time that we respect it, bounce off it, then we break through it. Respect it, bounce off it, then we break through it. But look what just happened. We respected it, bounced off it, and look it. Are we going to break through it in the short to midterm? That could happen. And if you look here, this here, when we fell through this here, this was the 2020-2021 bull cycle. And when we had this downtrend here, this is the 2017 bull cycle. So right here, are we going to see a bull cycle commence for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? An update from Tech Dev, what he's saying: most time into an issue by far, always more to learn. Global liquidity, risk appetite, structural confluence, the case for 150K plus in Q2 of 2024, Bitcoin top. What he's looking at here, he's looking at this macro trend line. We'll look at the charts in a little bit as well ourselves. He's just mirroring this and stepping up through these fibs, hitting that 2.618. 150,000 plus Bitcoin price target. It's definitely extremely bullish. Stock Money Lizards saying Bitcoin, great things are about to happen in the coming 2 years. And what's happened over the previous cycles? We have this trend. We come up, flatten out, blast off 200x. Come up, flatten out, blast off 60x. Come up, flatten out, blast off 100x. Came up. Now we're ready for that flatten out period. And that could lull out for most of 2023, so you got to be patient. But then, how high of an X are we going to see in this return to come? Definitely seems bullish for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. An update from El Crypto Prof. He's showing an inverse head and shoulders pattern. As you see, inverse head and shoulder, and it's just a bump and run to the upside. And right now we're having that bump and run. Are we going to see that upside run up over the next month or two? Time will definitely tell. And then from TA Analyst, Bitcoin bull run begins. The bear market lasts about 420 days. Bull run, 1100 days. So as you see, rinse, repeat. 420, 1100. 420, 1100. 420. Well, the time has already started. So this is going to take us into roughly about the first half of 2025, as you see down here, and this will take us up to, once again, a 250K price target. And we'll look at the charts here in a little bit, so stay with us. And then TA Trader Allen, at the end of a downtrend, Bitcoin forms a rising wedge, then breaks above the upper trend line, as well as the horizontal resistance. This is super bullish pattern indicating the bottom of the bear market has formed. And you see here, we have this downtrend, we run to resistance, fall into a rising wedge pattern, we break out of it, then retest, then a blast off, and rinse, repeat. This will happen in 2015. We fall into a rising wedge pattern, come out, break out of it, flip it to retest, and then ultimately have that blast off by the end of 2017. So is this going to happen as soon as it did in 2017, or is it going to lull out for some time and just trade sideways towards the end of 2023 and wait till after the halving until Bitcoin sees a new all-time high? Looking at the Bitcoin price chart, what we want to show you, this macro trend line, Bitcoin has respected this resistance once, twice, 3 times, Well, look at here. The bottoms, when we wick back down, we come back and touch this once, twice. If we test this downwards trend line, note from a peak to a trough, you have an 84% retracement, a 76% retracement. There's a diminishing return on the upside, but also a diminishing return on the downside. So if we do a similar move and have a 68% down to this level after the 2024 halving, this could take us up to once again around that $250,000 threshold with a 68% retracement. That could be down to about 65 to 75K, depending on when this happens and where it touches this blue line. Keep this in mind. And we want you to imagine this. Imagine working your 9 to 5 for 40 years and the Fed prints 40% of the total USD supply within 2 years and inflates your life's work away. Well, there is an option that you can get out. You can avoid this from happening to you as long as you hold on for dear life and hold on to your Bitcoin. With that, let's hear from Michael Saylor. He's talking about what's going on in the current state of the crypto market and what's going on with these bank failures that continue to happen. We've seen banks failing over the past few months. Let's get Michael's take on this and what's next in the crypto space.
And the Bitcoin itself is our belief that Bitcoin is the ultimate digital scarcity network. And because Bitcoin has been moving up about 50% a year on average over the last 3 years, the real key with Bitcoin is just to be able to hold on to it and stomach the volatility. And we have conditioned our shareholders and our bondholders to understand that we're long-term hodlers. And because everybody is aligned in that interest, we're able to weather that volatility, and we end up doing very, very well as Bitcoin recovers. I think right now there are two twin drivers, right? There's the macroeconomic concern about inflation, and as inflation takes place, people lose confidence in fiat currencies. And that means they start to realize that everything valued on cash flows is a currency derivative, and Bitcoin is not valued on cash flows. It's in a digital scarcity. The failure of the banks, Silvergate Bank, Signature Bank, Silicon Valley Bank, now First Republic Bank, causes people in the Western world to start to lose a little bit of faith in the banking system. And they remember that Bitcoin is a bank in cyberspace run by incorruptible software. So the phrase "be your own bank" has emerged as an investment idea in the United States, but it's really a matter of financial survival elsewhere. And so the combination of that concern about inflation and counterparty risk with banks is driving Bitcoin's adoption. It's also being driven, by the way, by the crypto crackdown. Mm-hmm. And as people lose faith in crypto exchanges, crypto securities, and cryptocurrencies, there's a natural migration of capital from those crypto ecosystems into Bitcoin, since it's viewed as the risk-off safe haven asset of the crypto space.
Yeah.